welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Kevin Robinson. And Coach had a successful weekend as you kind of split your athletes. Really, most of them went down to Auburn, one went up to Candace, and that one did pretty good. So let's talk about him before we go down to the Plains and Auburn. Up in Candace, Dan Kuhlman was the athlete you sent up there to participate in the 10K and couldn't have done any better. He comes away with the win.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a really great experience for Dan. He's only going to get a chance to run one 10K this year before the conference meet, and we debated on which facility or which meet to send him to, and we finally decided we'd go to Kansas because it's a little closer to home, and we knew it was going to be highly competitive. The problem with Kansas is you never know what to expect in terms of weather, which we ran into some pretty bad weather up there. It was below freezing, extremely windy, some flurries actually during his race. But Dan did a phenomenal job. Very resilient race, very composed. He came away with the victory. He beat a lot of guys in that race that had much faster PRs than he did. So, he really dug down deep and came through in a big way at that meet. And it's a great thing for us to be able to go up there and pull a victory from such a prestigious relay meet.
How big of a mental factor is that running those conditions? Because we know the runners like a little bit cooler weather, but you don't expect freezing conditions and snow. And I know once the race starts, you're probably not thinking too much about that. You got to battle the wind, of course. There are high winds, but yeah. I guess before the race is where the mental aspect comes into play.
Yeah, I really think, nobody wants to be exposed to those conditions, whether it's a distance runner or a jumper, or, what have you. But you're right, when the gun goes off, you got to put it all behind you and understand that everybody's dealing with the same conditions. And at that point, it becomes more about who wants it more. And at that point, that race, Dan was the man that wanted that race more than anybody else, and he did a great job. I can't say enough good things about his performance there, and the confidence that it gives him going into our conference meet is huge.
Well, let's talk about the War Eagle Invitational, a little bit warmer, and you go to Godfrey Thane, first of all, winning the 800 meter.
Yeah, Godfrey, he's been very consistent for us this year. Just a freshman guy. He actually, he's PR'd in almost every single race that he's run this year. So he's a local product. He's a guy that came in that was overlooked by most institutions, and he's come in for us with a tremendous work ethic and a will not to lose. That's kind of what we're looking for. Everybody wants to win, but he's got a refusal to lose that's so imperative, and he's done a phenomenal job. He scored for us indoor at the championship, and he continues to improve, and I can see him being a huge factor for our program in the future.
Well, he gets that win, another win. Kyle Bynum won the javelin.
Yeah. Now, the conditions Friday evening for the javelin were pretty similar to the conditions at Kansas. With the exception of the snow, we were battling some bad winds, a lot of rain. It was soggy and nasty, and nobody wanted to be out there. Kyle did a pretty good job. He actually hit that throw in his last throw of the competition because he was finally just getting angry enough that he was getting beat by guys that were not as good as him. So I saw a lot of competitiveness in Kyle in that last throw, which is where I've been trying to get him for a while. It's still a long way from his personal best, and he and I both know he can throw much better, but the win is important for his confidence, and the fact that he did step up and compete. He wasn't thinking, he was just, I need to win this meet, and he went out and got it done, and that's a big step for him this year.
Let's talk about a couple of winners for the women. Vivian Brand won the shot put.
Yeah, Vivian, now she's very consistent this outdoor season, and she's chasing a couple of marks that would qualify her for the European Under-23 Championships. She's about 11 centimeters off at this point in the shot put, which is a really, really big deal. It's a highly competitive meet in Europe. She solidified herself as one of the best throwers in the conference, and she's just a freshman outdoor. She's making a big impact. She's training hard. She's got a great attitude, and I expect Vivian to continue to improve, and she's doing a very, very good job at this point. I know there's still a lot left there for this year, and she knows it as well, so hopefully we'll be able to put it all together on one throw and get something going.
Then your relay team, your 4x400 relay team, a winner.
Yeah, they definitely won. They weren't challenged at all at this meet. Basically, it was a race against themselves. They seem a little bit tired, and of course that team needs to be pushed. Mm-hmm. They weren't pushed. it's great to come out of Auburn with a victory, but at the same time, we're a few seconds off our best performance in that race. So I'm really looking forward to the point where that team can get challenged. And when they're challenged, I think they're going to step up and run really, really fast.
All right, well, Coach, that'll wrap it up for Auburn and Kansas. Now next is the Red Wolf Invitational over in Jonesboro. What do you see out of that meet?
Well, the meet at Arkansas State is going to be much smaller in scale. It'll be competitive, but it's also going to give most everybody on the team multiple opportunities to kind of sharpen up before the conference meet. It'll be our last regular season opportunity. But I feel like it's a good opportunity for us to relax a little bit, not be so keyed up because of the competition that's around us, but focus a little bit more on what we have to do to get better. And I think it's a good tune-up. We do the same thing indoor with that meet at Southeast Missouri State. Gives our field eventers one more chance to get sharp, and hopefully we get the weather to cooperate. And I think we'll come out of there with some solid performances, and the goal is to build our confidence and make one final push to be as ready as we can be for that conference meet.
Coach, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jeff.
That is Kevin Robinson. I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.